And we are back with another episode of Real Talk with JT, and we are in double digits. This is episode number 11, and today I'm bringing you someone real special, someone who really built up their business off of social media, Instagram and Facebook, all organically. About 25% of her business is going to come off social media with zero money spent. Yes, she hasn't spent anything. It's all organic. And you know what? This year, she's on track to close to 120 transactions. Yes. The one and only Diana from Chicago. Thank you so much for being here. I
Yay!
appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Such a great introduction. Thank you, John. Thank you for having me on.
Thank thank you for being here, Dana. I really appreciate you. I know we met a long time ago, right? We've been knowing each other for a few years now from the Tom Ferries, of course.
Thanks to Tom
Big
Ferry. Yes.
big shout out to Tom Ferry, right?
Yes.
Making all those connections, make it happen. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It means a lot for me and the viewers. If you guys watching this live, ask the questions, give us the lines, give us the hearts, and this is gonna be on repeat. So if you're watching the recording, you can also ask your questions, and we're gonna go back to get you the right answers. Okay. So before I'm gonna go into it, Diana, how long in the business? Like, give us a little perspective. Like, how long in the business? What do you do? Give us the quick
Yes, yes.
synopsis.
So I'm Diana Matichyn from Chicago, and I'm in the business for 9 years. For a very long time, I've been a single agent with an assistant, and about 3 years ago, I started a team. So now we are a team of five, and I have four licensed agent. I have marketing person, actually a team of six. So I have an assistant operation manager. And yes, we did 81 sales last year, and we're going for over 100 this year. Very excited. But I'll tell you one thing: I didn't build my business off of social media. I built my business off of cold calling, and now I do less of it
Mm.
because I'm more busy. But social media brings me a lot of business. So over the last 2 years, I would say it has become a very nice pillar in my business. And I was building off of the success that I had of expired for sale by owner, circle dialing. So I do less of that now, and the social media does the work for me while I'm going on appointments. People watch my videos, so it's pretty cool.
I love that. So I mean, so you've done the hard part, right? Like you did the calls, and you did speak to the Fizbos, and you probably get tons of hangups on you. And now you're at a point where the social media start picking up, and people obviously they do recognize you, right? And
Yes,
they do
yes.
trust you, and they give you the business. So before what year you said you jump into real estate?
So it was 9 years ago.
Wow. What did you do before?
I was a personal assistant to
Oh
someone
wow.
who's not to a CEO of a company that's not involved with real estate. So I was looking for a job, for a personal assistant job, and I'll tell you the
I
story.
see.
Nobody would hire me. I would go on interviews, and then I would look at a posting of a job, and they would advertise $50,000. I was like, if I could make $50,000, that's it. I would be set.
I made it.
I was so hopeful someone would hire me and pay me $50,000 a year, and I'm so grateful that they didn't, because now I am where I am today because nobody would hire me.
That's unbelievable, right? So you were overqualified. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I probably I was guided to where I am today. It was everything happened for a reason.
And so, how long you did the personal assistant for? How long was that journey?
That was 3 years. Before that, I was a waitress, and before that, I was in Ukraine. So officially, I have been in America for what, 12 years or so? Yeah, something around that. So 12 and a half years. So I came from Ukraine 12 and a half years ago. I started from kind of bottom, but waitressing was great because you get to learn English and talk to people. So yeah, it's a great experience.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love that. I love that journey. Believe it or not, I think everyone starts working in a restaurant. Certainly I did started working in restaurants as well.
Yeah.
Actually, next month it's gonna be 20 years when I came to America from Czech Republic.
20? Oh, how awesome.
Yeah, it's a big year this year. And you know what? Finally, I got to know how to properly pronounce your last name. So you say Matichyn, right?
Matichyn.
Matichyn. All right, that was good. It was pretty easy. And so, all right, so you work in a restaurant. You were the personal assistant. Like, was that a good experience? Because like right now you have admin, you have operations manager, right? You have that assistant. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it gives you a good perspective on knowing on how it is actually of being an assistant as well?
In a way, it does. I could see what were the negatives, the positives of,
Hmm.
my previous boss, but I feel like I still made lots of mistakes. So unless you go through that experience, you don't really like. I can't teach someone something that I haven't gone through. So unless I go through it personally, then I can learn the lessons myself. Because there are some lessons that you learn from about yourself first, being the senior, and then you learn about dealing with people and different personalities.
Hmm.
I'm like the high D, so I'm very demanding and want to get things done. I want to explain 3 words and people to know what to do. So I had to learn myself how to be a better person to work for and work with.
Be more empathetic, you saying sometimes? Like slow it
Something like that,
down
yeah.
and okay, okay. And I know it's tough, right? Like we as leaders, we always so focus on productivity, right? And we want to
Mhm.
make sure that we hit those goals and we move the ship, cross the finish line as fast as we can.
Yeah,
And sometimes the human nature and what's going on in our teammates' personal lives, sometimes we do forget paying attention to that as well, right? So
right.
that's really common. Now, so why real estate? So I know you were searching for the assistant for for some time. You did it for 3 years, right? Then you
Yeah.
couldn't find a job. How did you get into a real estate thing? Like, how did
The
that
true
happen?
story is somehow, some way, I got an email invite to Rich Dad Poor Dad investment class,
Come
which is free. And then I signed up, and then I got in debt. I maxed out all my credit cards, and then I realized,
on.
oh my gosh, I better figure out what to do. So getting the license was kind of the next best thing. So that's what I did.
Wow, that's incredible. So it was like your plan B, getting the license just to get out of that.
Yep, that was my
And
plan
so
B.
So before we're gonna go into the journey, like who is Diana besides selling over 100 homes a year and running the team and I mean killing it on social media? Like, what do you do in your spare time? Do you have a spare time? Because most people, when they look at you and they say, "Oh my gosh, she's got it all," yet she must be working 24/7, like literally 24/7, 365. Is that
It's
true?
a very much a work in progress, John. I feel like I have a lot to learn from you and your systems, and that's a
Okay,
conversation that maybe you and I will have later on. But I am,
certainly.
first of all, a wife, a mother of 2 wonderful kids. I have 5-year-old twins, and that's all I do in my spare time is spend time with my family. I love my family, and I'm grateful that what I do, I can spend time with the family and spend time either at our home or go somewhere. So yeah, that's what I do.
And that's really difficult, right? Like the real estate, sometimes it is so demanding, and if you're not cautious of your schedule, it could really suck you all in. And years pass by and the kids, they're big already, and we miss on the things. So like, do you take weekends off? You work just certain hours so you can spend time
Very
with the
important to
kids?
set boundaries. My one of my first coaches said that, listen, you have to have at least 1 day off a week, and that's what I have. I have
Okay,
1 full day, no appointments, nothing. I will
good.
still answer calls, and if something is urgent, I'll answer emails. But one
Hmm.
day is a full day off. It's just you're turning yourself off from the
Hmm.
business, and it's very important not to get burnt off. On Saturdays, eventually I work maybe 2 hours in our season. I work a few hours on a Saturday.
Hmm.
Typically, winter, summer, I most of the weekends I have off, and then after a certain time during the week, I don't answer the call. So you have to set it for yourself. it typically cannot be after 5 because a lot of people still have questions after 5 o'clock. So I do answer questions all until like 6:30, 7 o'clock. After that, I do not answer my phone. So that's really important for you to set your boundaries, and then people respect them, because once you answer one time after 7 o'clock, they know that you answer after 7 o'clock. If you don't do that for anyone, they understand that even if they text you after 7 o'clock, you will get back to them next morning. And, listen, you guys, we're not, heart surgeons here. It's okay to wait until next morning. So
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
look at
And this is so big. I think you said something which a lot of people really really struggle with, right? Like the fear of missing out. And you said, when you set those boundaries, just like the doctor would, right? The doctor has, opening hours, right? And there's a certain process, to those things. So if you have those boundaries, the clients actually, they would respect you more as a
that's right.
professional, versus if you are always available, now they don't see as much of a value in having those conversations with you, because they're just happening at all the times, right? It's not just happening at this certain time, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, I know you talk about the schedule, right? In your busy day, like what is your daily number one priority for the day?
Is 8 to at least 9 o'clock is making my phone calls. So I still do my
So you
calls. I
still
still
making your phone calls. I guys,
I still
are you guys listening? 25% of Diana's business. And you know what? That's about 25 to 30 deals. Yes, it's coming for social media, yet she's still making the calls in the morning.
So I gotta
That's
make the
incredible.
calls. Well, I feel like no matter where you are, you still have to make the calls. Maybe you're not gonna call for sale by owners and expires, but you
Hmm.
have to call your past clients. You have to call. There are a lot of people to call, first of all, but second of all, there's a lot of missed opportunity, and I don't like missed opportunity. So I'll still call
Hmm.
new expires. I'll call old expires. And now, actually, my coach and I were working on setting a goal for me to have 10 conversations a day, which is basically either a follow-up or I'm talking to a new person. So that is a non-negotiable in my business, making sure that I'm in my office by 8:30 max, and that's number one priority.
I love that. The average agent gets to the office like 11 o'clock, right? So 8:30, your half of your day it's already done, and they just get into the office.
Yeah, it's great. Early bird gets to sell some houses. Yeah, and set some
So
listing appointments.
so let's talk about social media a little bit, right? So at what point did you start utilizing social media as a source? Like, were you like all in on that? You were like, what, social media, I want to get a business out of it? Or were you just dabbling it? Maybe you had your account and you were just posting stuff, just for the fun of it?
I definitely started with gambling. That was one of it. And you know how you
Okay.
think, oh, it's a fad. It's gonna go away. Why do I have to spend the time? Or it either way takes a lot of
Mm.
time. I don't see any effort. I don't see any payoff from it. So that's how I started. I got Canva account, and I would post something here and there, something cute and very commercial looking posts. That stuff doesn't work. And then I figured out, you know what? I don't think Instagram is going anywhere anytime soon. And thanks to our Town Ferry ecosystem, I figured out that some people are actually getting business from their social media. So I decided to hire a social media manager, and she kept me very accountable to making sure that we produce content, but we also watch what's popular with other businesses, not related to real estate, but what other pages are popular, what's trending these days, what's important to do. And then I slowly figured out my theme of my page, of how I attract my clients right now is basically I'm not for everyone and I'm not about everything. I am a mom, a businesswoman, I am a realtor, and that's what my page is about. I don't post anything that's not related to that. So I think over the last 2 years, I've been able to build a good tribe of people. So I think we're like 9,600 followers right now, and
Hmm.
more. And
That's
most of those
incredible.
are, was that?
That's incredible.
Oh,
Almost
thank you.
10,000. Yeah.
Most of that, a lot of them are other realtors, which we work with and we
Good.
respect. We learn from each other. work together. A lot of them are a lot of local people, and it's really great to see the payoff, because people call me and they say, oh, they register on my website, and I see this is like an organic website visitor, and I always ask, how did you find me? Oh, I found you on Instagram. And I feel like it's not just enough to have a good handle, because a lot of people have emulated my handle, their name and Chicago Realtor. It's not enough to do that. You have to really have to provide the value that's going to go beyond just the handle. Because if we're just posting just listed, just sold, or we're just bragging about things, it's interesting to a point. I was actually listening to Gary Vee and some other podcasts. Like if you're very
Hmm.
transactional, people will like that to a point. If they're like right now looking to buy, right now looking to sell, they'll like that content. But if they're not, which most people are not,
They're
like
not.
this is
Yeah.
something people do at once in 10 years,
Mm.
they're not going to relate to your content, and they're not going to want to follow, or they'll unfollow and forget about it.
Mm.
So it's really important to have a good mix when you go into social media, that you understand that it's about keeping people entertained in a good way, and showing yourself as a real person. The way I am on social
Mm.
media is how I am in real life. If people like me, that's great, and I love working with people that like me. And if they don't like me, then that's okay too.
I love that. And it's so funny because I had Ian of Austin on the podcast as well, and he was talking about branding, and he said you just have to be who you want to be, who you truly are, and you
Mm-hmm.
would resonate with some people, and some people you just won't resonate with, and it's okay, right? It's just
Totally okay.
it is what it is. But being authentic and really promoting yourself as you being the brand, you're gonna relate with a lot of people because a lot of people, their moms, right? A lot of people, they wives. A lot of people, they have certain hobbies as well, right? So you gotta be okay with that. Now, I know you said
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning, you said you did some posts on Canva, but it just wasn't working. Like, can you expand on that a little bit? Because I see a lot of realtors, they do like they just sold and just
Mm-hmm.
listed. Hey, we just sold another one. You know what I mean? Like, why do
Yeah.
you think those posts won't really give you that results most people are after?
I feel like we all have our strengths, and even if you do the just sold pose, have someone do it for you. Because
Mm.
I have my strengths and my weaknesses, and having that design eye is apparently not one of them. When you do it, you feel like, oh, that's fine, I'll post it. But now when I look back at my page to 3 years ago, I cringe a little bit, because I'm like, okay, I would never post this right now. This does not look good. So first of all, people really don't care. Everything that you put out, it has to be like, what is it in for someone? It's not about, oh my gosh, I'm so amazing, look at me, I just sold another house. It's like, okay, we sold this house, and this is how we help the sellers. And it's way better said in a video, or you can do a post, like a blog post with a photo of the house. But if you're just stating like, okay, I sold this other house, people say, okay, what, so what? What does it mean to me? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why a lot of those posts get overlooked. And a lot of people say, oh, we do social media. But if you look on the page, is 1, 5 likes. That's nothing nearly what you need to get any exposure and to get any clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is so true. Jerry Manite, he was in the call, last week, and he talked about knowing your audience
Mm-hmm.
and really, putting out a content which your audience actually is interested in and want to watch. Like many times, I feel like we don't know who our audience is, right? And we're just putting anything out, and if it's not relatable to them, they're not going to
Yes.
watch it. As a matter of fact, that's going to screw up with your algorithm, right? So you'll be better off having less followers, knowing who the people are and what they are interested in, and cater to that, and get 200 followers and get 200 likes and 200 comments, versus having 20,000 followers and we don't know what the audience is, and we're putting something which they completely not interested in, and don't
Yes.
get likes, don't get comments. And now the social media, the Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube, they're gonna say, well, you got 20,000 people but nobody's liking it, your content has to suck. And actually they tend to
Exactly.
punish us, right, in the perspective. So I think knowing the audience, it's essential. Now,
Well, and you know,
then,
John, it's really hard. I just wanted to add that it's
yeah.
really hard to know in the beginning who your audience is and what they like because you're kind of just trying to figure out. So I would look at my videos and I would go back maybe a few weeks later after the video is posted or a
Mhm.
post or whatever it is, and I would see how that performed. And then I would do more of the stuff that works because you can actually see how people respond. If they don't respond well to a specific post, this is the answer for you. It doesn't work. Don't do that again. If you post something that's maybe goofy, funny, and that's your personality, people respond really well to that, you do more of that. It's really easy to figure out because sometimes people think like, okay, well, how do I figure out what people like? So
You are
just
you
go
are
on.
such a genius. How did you know, Diana? You must be, reading people's mind or something. I love
Anyway,
that.
just my
And you
two
and you're
cents.
always putting you always putting the funny videos in as well, right? And you get a lot of, response from people. So I love that tip of going into the insights and looking up the data. Now, when you're looking up the data, what do you look at? Do you look at just the views, the likes, the comments? Like, what is the most important thing for you?
It's a combination of thing, and it's going to depend on a type of a video it is. There are some
Okay.
videos that are not going to require a lot of comments because it's purely information, and people just consume it. Either we have a lot of saves, and I like
Hmm.
that a lot of people have saved that information.
Got it.
So, even if you follow like an Instagram guru and they give out some ideas, and then I save it for myself because I want to reference back in the
Hmm.
future.
Yeah.
So, it depends on the content. If it's a humor, then I would love comments. If I see that I don't have a lot of comments, that humor didn't resonate well with a lot of people. And honestly, I was really resistant to putting out any videos that have a little bit of humor because I'm always worried. Okay, is this going to
Politically
offend
correct.
someone?
Yeah.
Is it going to land completely flat? With the accent first, I was really like so afraid that somebody's going to get offended, that I'm going to offend someone, but it turned out to be great.
Yeah, believe it or not, I have a bit of an accent as well. And my wife, I love her dear. She always been trying me to go for speech classes to get rid of the accent and stuff. But
Oh,
to tell you the truth, I get people, I call them up and they just remember me because of the accent.
yes.
They're like, "Hey, what's up, John? How you doing?" They don't even have my number saved. So I'm like, you know what? This is a good marketing thing. I think I'm not gonna get rid of that voice that
Yes.
quickly. So I know you said 25% of your business, right? It's for social media. And you said you have a lot of agents on your channel. What percentage would you say a half of the 25 is agents? Is it all consumers? Or do you get a lot of agent to agent referrals off of your social media? Or maybe do you feel like you have some agent to agent referrals which you're not really counting being part of your social media, yet most
Yes.
likely they're probably getting through that as well?
100%. I feel like it's very easy to be forgotten. Even when we go to conferences, we meet so many people, and I come back with 100 business cards. Once we connect in social media and we stay active, it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier to remember that person and know, okay, Diana is from Chicago. That's who I recommend. So I do get agent-to-agent referrals that are not part of my social media count as far as transactions, but I
Mm-hmm.
know because I do the social media, they remember me. Maybe they take some of my ideas and use it in their business. I'm always welcome. I always said to all other agents, like, feel free to R&D. That's all our system is. Rip off and duplicate.
Yeah.
And the as far as followers, I would say probably maybe a quarter or 30% of them are agents, and the rest would be just people. Lots and lots of people.
Hmm. That's good. So 30% are agents and 70% are consumers. I'm wondering, so the 25% of the business, there was all consumers or was it some agents? Do you count the agents separately as well?
I count agents separately.
I
So agent
see.
to agent referrals, we had last year, I think 11 sales were agent to agent referrals.
11. So it's probably around like
Yes.
15%.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Around that.
So, and I mean, the 15% now, how many you think of the 15% they give you the referral because of your social media following?
I would say probably all of them. are because of the connection. Unless we stay in touch and we keep reminding other people of us, they wouldn't remember me. There are other agents in Chicago, and a
Wow.
lot of times I get tagged by somebody else. So I don't get the actual referral right away, but they post on social media
Hmm.
about looking for a referral on Facebook page, and somebody else that remembers me tags me, and that's how eventually I get the referral.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
power
So I mean,
social media works.
that's so really that's a business of social media as well. So you really did like almost 40% of social media, you can say.
Honestly, this is how I look for a hairstylist. This is how I look for a makeup artist. I go on Instagram and I put makeup Chicago or
Yeah.
hairstylist Chicago, and I want to see what their work is. I want to see how successful they are because for a lot of the services, many of us have 5-star reviews. So how else are we going to separate each other
Mhm.
from each other? So it's not just about the 5-star reviews on Zillow or Google page, but also doing some extra videos and videos that are perceived well. Because if you're doing just videos in front of the house and you're just saying, oh, this is a house for sale and not giving much information, that's
Mhm.
one thing. But if you're doing something a little bit more creative, that video is more likely to get to more audiences that you don't know, because the whole strategy of us doing great videos is having Instagram realize this is a great video, so they're going to push it
Mhm.
out to the world. And first, what happens in the first like 1,000 views, I was talking to an expert that does this for a lot of big
Mhm.
companies. They said the first 1,000 views is pretty much your local audience, and then once the Instagram sees that it's a good video, then it starts pushing out a little bit more wider, wider, and wider. So
Mhm.
that's what you want, because the more attraction you get, the more views you get, the more Instagram starts promoting you, and then you show up higher on a search. Your videos show up higher, and they get suggested to other profiles and other people.
I love that. So over 1,000 views. I mean, the first 1,000, it's more like local, but once you get it over, Instagram gonna realize, you know what, this is a viral video, and they start
Yeah.
pushing it out more. Now, what was the tipping point for you? Like, I know you said you did social media, you were dabbling with it. Like, what was that thing when you realized and you went all in and you make those changes? Then you start getting business out of it.
I think I was at the point of my career where I was looking for another leg for my table. So I always
Okay.
refer back to the table. Table is my business, and the legs
Hmm.
to the table are lead sources, where I get my leads, where I get my business from. And expired for sale by owners database was one of it. Open
Hmm.
houses, which I don't like. But,
No,
and
you
I
don't
was
like
looking
you don't
for
like
some,
open houses, really?
don't like open houses. No, I
Okay.
do not. I don't like working on weekends. That's where it comes down
Oh,
to.
I
So
see. I gotcha. All right.
So I was looking for another leg for my table. So I was like, okay, do I invest into farming? Do I invest into something else? So it's important to have a commitment. A lot of times when you have someone that's helping you, a social media manager, they can help you with your marketing,
Hmm.
and they can help you with your
Think Dana froze for a little. So she will come back, guys. So if you like this stuff, give us some thumbs up. Thank you, Natalia, for giving us the thumb up. I appreciate that. If you guys have any questions for Diana, let us know. And Diana drop off. So she will be back. Just stay on, guys. And you are back. I love
I'm
that.
so sorry. My phone
It
got too hot,
happens.
apparently.
I love that. The information is so good that the phone got hot. Love
Technical
that.
difficulty. Anyway, so
Good.
I was talking about commitment. It's
Good.
if you're committing to something, if you have someone that's keeping you accountable, I'm paying this person weekly to make sure that we shoot videos, that she comes up with ideas, I come up with ideas. That's when the whole game changed for me, because I realized it's really hard me to keep me accountable for making
Mm-hmm.
videos. It's really easy to say, you know what, I'm too busy.
Mm. And so, a lot of people, they can start with hiring a social media manager. Maybe they don't have the budget for it. Like, what would be some of your suggestions for those people which they want to start with social media, but maybe they don't have a budget to hire somebody to hold them accountable?
Absolutely. First thing what I would do is follow realtors that you can emulate. And then second is look at every opportunity as a social media content. So anytime at a showing, I just take out my phone and I start shooting the house, or I went to a listing appointment. And after the listing appointment, I take a video of myself. I post it on my stories. And actually, my stories are being watched more than my posts, by the way.
Wow.
So it's really, I get more responses on my stories than I do on my posts. So every opportunity, everywhere you go, is a social media content. How to package it in a nice professional way. You can
Hmm.
always get ideas from other realtors. There are so many realtors that are really, really successful, and they do it in very elegant way where it's not salesy. It's not just listed, just sold. It's really just about the life in real estate, or the houses we see, or you see something that's coming soon, or if you have like nothing going on in your business, and go and tour some new construction properties. Those guys always are happy to have realtors over
That's it.
and
That's a good
drive by
one.
their communities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's just so many opportunities on creating the content, right? What do you think it's for you? It is like the perfect recipe of content. Like how many stories, reels, long form, short form, across the channels. Like, what do you think it's the ideal recipe for that?
You definitely want to focus at once a day. I do post 5 times a week, so not every single day.
Okay.
I'm going towards that, so I don't want to do that. I need
Hmm.
someone to do that, or we should just schedule posts. And then as far as stories go, try to do at least 3 stories. And stories are so easy to do these days. Oh, look at my coffee. Oh, look at the
That's
view
it.
today. Oh, I woke up early today. The stories they disappear in 24 hours, which is fine. But actually, a lot of people still reach out to me for my 4 a.m. routine, which I haven't done in like year and a half, 2 years. I haven't woken up at 4 a.m. But people remember me for that stuff, because
Oh
every time I woke
wow.
up at 4 a.m., I would tag myself and say, "Hey, 4 a.m. club," and I'm going to work out and stuff like that. So people remember you for stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so easy, right? Well, let's do a quick story now. How about that? And I'll try to do something little different. So I'll
Uh-huh.
put a camera here, right? So like people are
Well,
gonna
you'll
see
have to
what
do it because I'm on my phone right now.
I gotta do it. And I'll tag you. So you ready,
Okay.
guys?
Okay.
Woo! The
Lots of
one and
content.
only
Lots of ideas.
Diana
Woo. Thank you. Thank you.
Matichyn.
Watch the video. It's about Instagram.
It's about Instagram. Click on the link below, guys. Don't miss on it. We got the camera rolling.
That's
Diana's
right.
ready, smiling. The mic is here. Let's go. That's it, right? I mean, it wasn't really much of an effort, right? For most people, but why do you feel most people they just won't do it? For whatever reason, it's sometimes they feel like maybe they want to keep their personal life and exactly what they do little private. They don't want to share everything. So do you feel like there's like oversharing?
I do that. I keep my personal life completely personal.
Okay.
On
Okay.
social media, people have no idea how my kids look, how my family looks. So I never post about them. Nobody knows that I have twins. I only put it
Hmm.
on my like profile that I'm a mother of twins and wife. So you can choose and decide what you want to do. I keep my personal life personal. I just chose to do that. Makes me feel like I have something of my own nobody knows about. So it's just me. But everybody's different. If you're posting business and personal, it's a great combination because then it's not too businessy. But this is why I have introduced humor. to break up the content because we can't be too serious all the time. People
Yeah.
want to get entertained. If you're too afraid about posting things, it's going to look bad in the beginning. You kind of have to go through growing pains. Everybody looks bad in the beginning, but then as you do stuff and then you learn new things and then you kind of learn yourself and speaking and all of that, it's you get better naturally, but you can't skip to that. You have to go through growing pains. It's just you can't skip to that.
Yeah, you gotta build it right. And so, do you shoot your content like once a week? Do you do batch it, or is it every
Yeah.
day? Like, what's the strategy behind that?
For stories, yes, every day.
Okay.
Or sometimes when I already have stories for the day,
Mm-hmm.
I'll shoot a lot of stuff on my phone that's like some showings and stuff like that that I'll post on a different day where I don't have much going on.
Mm-hmm.
For posts and videos, we do a lot of reels. I do batch them, but I don't recommend batching them like a month ahead because a lot of the stuff that's trending today, it's not going to be trending 4 days from now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I try to focus on things that are, if it's evergreen, for example, we're doing, 3 tips for sellers when they're looking to list a home. That stuff can be posted anytime. But if we're doing some specific sound or a song that's trending, then I try to do that every single week and then we post it the next week.
You do those ponting ones too, or no?
Yeah.
Are they still in, or it's not?
Not as much. I don't know who's reading
You
that
know,
because
I think
sometimes
I
I
can
see like
I
a whole screen worth of.
yeah,
Sorry, I was saying
yeah,
that sometimes it's
yeah,
like a
I
whole
can do
screen
those.
worth of text and it's really hard to read. It's a lot easier if it's just like, 3 words here and there. But yeah,
That's
we do them
it.
once in a while. They
Yeah.
get a lot of views.
Yeah, are you doing the ones with the background? I feel like, when you have the screen in the back and maybe some news with the rates, like a lot of people they're doing it now. I feel like that's the trending one now. Are you doing those as well?
Yes, that's actually on my to-do list today. Yes.
I love that. Okay, that's a good one. Now, I know Jeremy was saying he has like four different buckets, right, of his content. So do you have like a strategy and a plan, in place as well? Like, how much of what content and what type of content you shoot, let's say per week or per month?
Yes. We definitely have our buckets too. The Monday is Monday motivation. On Friday is typically humor. And
Okay.
everything in between goes real estate or real estate advice. I try to do 2 educational videos per week. So that will be a
Okay.
tip for the seller, a tip for the buyer.
Mhm.
And then once a week, another a sound, just, like you're lip syncing to something. And then there is an idea or an advice behind it. So we have our buckets too.
I love that. Yeah. So you do two tips, right? So you do like five different contents per week, basically.
Yes, 5 a week.
Now, how do
Ideally,
you?
want to do, I think, every single day, but I know it's not easy to do for everyone. So start with 5. 5 is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, start with one, I think, right? As some people they have a hard time just doing the first video still, believe it or not.
Right.
So that's so good. Now, Diana, how do you keep up with the algorithm? Because I know up recently, like Instagram, it changed everything again, and we used to get a lot
Hmm.
of views and likes, and it went down to like 15-20% only what it used to be. So, like, how do you keep up with that stuff? What
It's
actually
really
works and
hard
what doesn't?
to try to trick the system because the system is always changing. First of all, you have to have good information that resonates with people and people find valuable. Second of all, you can't just be interesting, you have to be interested. So it comes back to also engaging with people that are following you and following them. So I spend the time, and that's part of my follow-up campaign is I spend the time on Instagram and responding to people's stories and their comments and not responding to the stories that they responded to, but to their
Mm.
stories. So I'm going to their profile and I'm seeing what's going on with them and I'm interested in them and that makes them interested in me. So that's a really important thing. No matter what Instagram is going to do, if you do that, you will continue to have a very good active page.
Yeah, I love it what you said. Being interested, not just interesting, right? And I mean, it
Just
goes
like in real
back
life, I
to
think.
exactly, exactly. I think, we really got to bring the humanity back into the business because it is so transactional, right? Like we get paid when we close a deal, yet we talking about like someone buying their home where they're going to live with their families, and they do it like once in a lifetime. So it's a
Hmm.
pretty significant move on their part, and sometimes we just have to be patient, right? But I feel like when you put them in first and you care about them and you really understand who they are, where they are, what they're trying to accomplish, and maybe how can you help them, then that's
Yes.
when you click really with people, right? So we had a question over here from Monica Soyemi. Thank you, Monica, for asking the question. She said, I would love to know how you got to 81 homes a year.
That's a great question. Well, I started with 11 my first year and grew from there. It comes back to systems and team. I wouldn't be able to do 81 on my own. I did do 1 year, I did 70 sales. I was on my own. That was I think that was my kids were like 2 years old or something. So I had a full-time nanny, I had a full-time assistant. I was working all the time, and it was exhausting. So 70 a year is a lot for one person. I feel like once you get to like 50, 60, that's a very good time to get two buyers agents, three buyers agents, so you can have some personal time back. Was very different when I was starting out. I had no kids, and I had from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I kept working. So I built my database, I've built my skills through those times. But anyone that I've seen that's selling that many houses, 80 and more, 100, 150, 300, they are not doing it on their own. It's impossible. So they are doing that with a team. And I was struggling with that concept for a very long time. Um, but at one point, I just realized I cannot have my life unless I have a team.
Now, tell me more about it. You said you struggled with it for a while. Like, what were some of the limiting beliefs?
Why would I train my competition?
Can you hear me, Diana?
Yes. My one of the limiting beliefs was, why would I train my competition?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Why would I train them if they'll leave anyway? So I have overcome that by now. But it's definitely, I feel like you have to be ready for that. So it's not for everyone, because it's you're taking on a team member. I feel like for me, it's personal responsibility. I want to make sure they're successful. I don't want them to be on a team
Yeah.
to not sell any houses or sell very few houses they can sell on their own. If I'm going to spend my time and my effort, and obviously it takes money to have a team member, I want to make sure they're going to be successful. So I'm glad I did it that way. I didn't want to do it another way where I wouldn't be ready and it wouldn't work out well. So yeah, I feel like once you get to that point at your journey, you feel like you're ready, and then you're on board agents.
That's awesome. And I love the honesty. I appreciate that. You don't want to teach the trend of competition. That is so good. And so true, because a lot of us, a lot of the agents, they're really afraid of sharing, because sometimes we feel like we might be giving out the secrets to
Right.
people, right?
Right. Honestly, there's not
Now,
even that many secrets. It's just you work hard, you make a
another
lot of phone calls, and you talk to people. That's all. That's
because
what
of
it comes down
social
to.
media now, like everything is out, it's out in the open, right? So everybody can see what we're doing. So
Yeah.
I love that. So what are some of the biggest lessons, like, looking back, at your business, and you've been in business for a while? If you could go back, what it would be some of the changes, you would do in your business?
John, I feel like I have a lot of changes to do right now. I'm going through some growing pains right now myself. Just systemizing as much as I can. If I did it earlier when I was less busy, it would have been so much easier right now. So the systems, and sometimes it's hard to figure out the systems. Like, okay, so systems is a great word, but where do you start? And having the checklist for a lot of things and having the help. Um, I feel like it's really hard to not have an assistant in our business, and I know it's
Mm,
definitely an investment, especially at this point in this job market.
mm,
It's not that easy to get an assistant for a pay that's maybe more affordable. But even if you partner up with another agent or someone that can help you part-time, take care of the paperwork, drop off log boxes, that's already such a big help than doing it all on your own. And that's what I was doing. I was writing my own MailChimp emails. I remember sitting and thinking of some like super
mm.
smart thing to say on my MailChimp emails, and if I had help with that, I could have made so many more phone calls and have so many more transactions.
Yeah, like getting the assistant, in place as soon as you could have, that would help you out. Really structure and systematize your business better for a faster growth, right?
That's right.
Now you said systems and structure. Like, how do you structure and systematize your social media?
Meeting with if you have a social media manager, that's one thing. If you don't, it's figuring out the content that you're going to do. If you're batching the content, which I
Hmm.
recommend that you batch your content, you make your hair, do your makeup if you're a woman, and you have a few outfits, so 5 different shirts, and then you sit down. You already know what videos you're going to shoot. That's really important. You don't sit there and scroll, because once you start scrolling, that's it, time is gone. So you do the scrolling before you figure
Hmm.
out what's trending right now and what's popular, what other people are doing that you would like to either emulate or do on your own. So that's the most important thing, is making sure that you plan ahead with your content, and then every day you post it or you schedule it, so it gets posted right away. Because if somebody's waiting for me, it's not going to get done today, or it's going to get done very late, not at the right time. So being consistent is number one. Figuring out what you're going to post is number two. And third is maybe get some help. Have a friend. You can have a college graduate or college kid help you with some videos, and maybe shoot you as you're walking around, or have someone come in and shoot you at the house. So that would be my strategies to help you.
Yeah, I love that. And so, when you shoot the videos, right? Do you shoot it through your camera, through your phone, or do you do it through the app, through the Instagram app
We
or
do it through
TikTok?
the phone and through the app. It depends. It's good to use filters. Filters always make it a little bit more nicer, brighter,
Hmm.
different colors. So it depends what we're doing. A lot of educational content we do straight from the app, because it's attention span of people is so small these days. So like every 2 seconds, we try to like
Yeah.
change things up a little bit. So I'll say a sentence, then we'll switch. I'll say a sentence and we switch. So I wouldn't have learned that unless I've done the videos that were just like fully on for 30 seconds and just talking and talking, talking. And then I realized, oh, you know what? People are probably not watching the whole video.
Hmm.
So I feel like that would make a big difference. If you're using the app, you can do that, or you can do it from the phone. It's just sometimes it's a little bit more dull, not as bright. So just depends.
Now, how do you edit? And do you edit, or someone else edits for you?
As far as editing goes, sorry.
Yeah.
As far as editing goes,
So good. Keeping it real, guys. By the way,
keep it real.
this is a lot.
Sorry,
This is a lot. This is a live podcast. Okay, we keeping it real here,
the
guys.
phone got hot, and the charger is going down and down. I see it's like almost done. Okay, so we have so sorry. Okay, my apologies. This is the this is the life of real estate agent. The phone is hot. People are
Yes.
calling. texting.
Yes, yes.
Next time I'll make sure I'm from my laptop. So, what was the question? Please repeat, John.
I already forgot.
Well, let's just keep moving.
Yeah. So,
So,
with the social media and everything, right? What's the next step for you? I know what was the question. So yeah, I was asking, are you editing it yourself or someone else is editing it for you?
that's right. The app is really great for editing. So you just have to play around with it for a few days and then you get a hold of it really quickly. You can cut the video, you can make
Hmm.
it faster, make it slower, add the music, add the text. So it's really easy for the beginning to do it directly from the app. You don't have to pay anyone. It just takes a little bit more of your time. There are a
Hmm.
lot of people on Fiverr, a lot of people that would be happy to edit it for you. Sometimes when I have the texts, you see my videos that have text overlay, and the
Hmm.
text is a little bit more interesting than just the standard Instagram captions. Then I outsource it to someone at Fiverr.
Good. So you can use Fiverr. Now, for the sound, oh, we lost you. Sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulties, right? Just another day in real estate. So, guys, do you have any questions so far? So far, so good. Do you guys find it helpful? Yeah.
This is so embarrassing, but thank you.
It's all
Thank you
good.
there, guys.
You changed the background. It looks good. I
I
love
am
that.
live from my computer finally. So
So
thank you for
yeah,
being on.
I was asking with the sound. Do you use something for the sound? Because I know the sound really matters on the video as well.
Yes. Lapel speaker, the cheapest one on Amazon, is the best thing. I've had a really expensive
Lapels,
Rode
okay.
microphone that's really hard to connect to the phone. You need
Mm-hmm.
to work with it, and it needs to be connected properly. I have a simple wired uh, lapel microphone, and I think it's like $15 on the Amazon.
That's
It
it.
works really good.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be expensive, guys, for it to work, right?
No, absolutely not. I think sometimes even the way if you go cheaper, you are using more
Now
of that
for
tool. So I have some I
true.
bought a Canon
Yeah.
camera, I have a stand, I have lights, I have so many different things that I have not utilized because I thought, oh, I want to make it professional. But once you go into that loop of trying to make it professional, you're going into paralysis analysis because you really want to make it perfect. It doesn't
Mm,
have to be perfect. Once you start out, it will definitely not be perfect, but then you know that you're on that journey of becoming better and better. And it's how it is with cold calling too. When I was cold calling, my first call, I called a for sale by owner. I hung up on them because I didn't know what to say. They picked up the phone and I got so scared. I was like, okay. So it's just how it is. And
did you get it? Did you get a listing?
I didn't. I was too afraid to talk to them. But
So
over the
now
time, it will.
for the caption, right? For me personally, I'm talking about myself. Did you play with Chat GPT for captions for your reels and videos?
100%. Yes.
ChatGPT is great. I had Jasper before.
That's the new secret. Like,
Jasper was great to a point, and then they got really expensive because if you want to go unlimited plan, it's like $1,000 a year. So ChatGPT has been really great for listed descriptions, for a lot of different things. YouTube scripts, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and I believe it's free now, right? You don't have to pay for
It's
it now.
free to a point. You have like a limited amount of entries you can make.
I see. Now, if you would be a superhero, which one would you be?
I don't know, a Wonder Woman or that Flash, super fast.
Flash, okay.
I'm not into superheroes. I think we're all superheroes. Every mom, every husband, every man is a superhero. Just taking care of other people, being alive and a good human in this world these days is being a superhuman superhero.
So good. Now, what would you say it's your superpower? Like, what makes you special?
Persistence probably has been something that has helped me be successful in a way. I don't really fret over, I feel bad for myself in a way for some things, but then I don't really like sit there for hours and hours and days. So being able to get up and move on to another call, I didn't get the listing. Oh, poor me. I spent so much time getting it, but let's move on to another one. Let's move on and make more phone calls. So I think that has been one of the things that I feel like has helped my my growth over the years.
Were you like that always?
I think if you don't have an option B, my back was against the wall, so I didn't really have an option B. Nobody would hire me. I had maxed out credit cards, so I really had to do the calls. And I remember doing 4 open houses in a week, and I would do one 11 to 1 and 2 to 4, a Saturday and Sunday. So if you don't have another option, if you understand that this is it, I'm going to be successful in real estate, there is no other way, then you understand that, crying over a failure is really not going to do anything. It's not going to help you in any way. So how are we going to move forward is doing more calls, doing things that we know works, and moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, working hard, it is so important, right? It's almost 3 o'clock, Diana. I really want to be mindful of your time. I know you're super busy. Any last thought, would you like to leave the viewers with? I mean, this was tons of a really good value. Anything would you suggest, the people to start with, if maybe they want to start off with their social media, maybe they're doing social media, but they're not really getting business out of it, or maybe they do, but they want to get more business out of it? Like,
The one thing that I will say is
any
social media is like farming.
last words would you like to leave the viewers? Social media,
Sorry, there was different kind of message. I couldn't hear. So the last words for social media. Social media is like farming. So it's not going to pay off tomorrow. It's not going to pay off in 4 days. When I went into it, I knew that this is going to be a long-term play. First of all, it's branding. So you brand yourself. This is like your billboard. So even if it doesn't pay off that well, people see you, they know you, and maybe your database is giving you more referrals. You don't know why out of nowhere they're giving you more referrals, but it's because of your social media. They see you more. They see that you're knowledgeable. They can see that you sold a house close to them. So that could be one part of it. But second part, the lead generation part comes a little bit later. And it does come back to investing time into Instagram. It's the same thing with real farming. If you put in the seed, but you don't really take care of it, it's not going to do anything. Maybe you'll get a crop here and there, but it's not going to be consistent.
Maybe some weeds.
Yes, lots of weeds. So you have to treat it as a lead pillar, take it very seriously, and then over the time, it could be in 3 months, it could be in 1 year, you're going to get this lead and you'll be like, whoa, finally my first deal. And I remember my very first really expensive listing, $1.7 million listing, was my Instagram friend that I never knew in real life.
Unbelievable. And that was the highest price point listing, right, for you.
At that point, yes.
It's pretty incredible. So Diana, thank you so much. I really
John. I really
appreciate it. Guys, stay tuned next week with another episode. If you guys find us helpful, definitely give us the likes. If you don't follow Diana, you gotta follow Diana. Diana, what's your Instagram handle?
Diana M. Chicago Realtor. Very easy.
And it's gonna be in the video as well, so you can definitely look it up. If you don't follow Diana, definitely gotta follow her for some inspiration, because you know what, she is the leader when it comes to social media. So Diana, thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you, John. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, everybody, for
Get you on the
listening.
next one.
Yes. Have a good one.
Thank you. Peace out.